Return after that. And it's been 1 year since tornadoes moved across Jefferson County, leaving significant damage throughout Homewood, Alabama. We look back at that event and how common it is to see tornadoes in the month of December.
Live on your side. First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
Hey, Wes here in the First Alert Storm Tracker.
Along with JP, and we're hanging out here in Tuscaloosa at the Tuscaloosa Annual Christmas Parade. We do this every year. Usually, in the past, I've been on the sidelines with a microphone reporting live, and Wes has been driving through the parade.
Right.
Tonight, we're here together.
Yeah, this is really exciting. This is always a huge parade here in West Alabama. It's one of the biggest parades in the state, and we're always glad to participate. And this is the 1 year, most of the time it's really cold, but we've had a little bit of rain out there, JP.
Yeah, and the rain has subsided. It's going to be right on cue. We're not cycling the windshield wipers anymore, and it's staying dry. So I think this is going to be great weather for the parade. I remember being out here when it's been, incredibly cold. I got the big coat on and everything.
Right.
It's pretty comfortable. We're going to be, temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s is what we're seeing area wide right now.
And JP is exactly right. 50s and 60s is what we are tracking. Let's head straight over to the next big thing so I can walk you through what this evening looks like for any of you who may be heading out to Tuscaloosa. If you're not already there, hey, listen, the parade has started, so what are you doing? But if you're hanging out in Tuscaloosa County at all this evening, there will be that slight rain chance. Temperatures, though, mild, like JP was saying. We're talking 60s and maybe some upper 50s across central Alabama throughout this evening. Winds out of the south. Fairly light for right now, but a little breezier for our Tuesday. Here we are looking at our First Alert AccuTrack satellite and radar. You can see that rain that was in Tuscaloosa County has cleared out over the last hour or so, and some of our southern western counties are getting some improvements with a lot of that wet weather moving south and east, and still seeing some heavy pockets of rain moving through parts of Etowah and Cherokee County at the moment. I want to zoom in here and just show you how dry it is in Tuscaloosa right now, especially downtown Tuscaloosa over towards the University of Alabama. So if you are hanging out there and you're watching maybe from your mobile device, well, you're in for a treat for that Alabama parade. Here's a quick look at our First Alert AccuTrack satellite and radar. We have temperatures in the 60s and then a few isolated upper 50s north and east. It's going to be pretty gloomy out there tonight, very cloudy and wet on and off. Tomorrow, though, we need to pay very close attention if you were in southeast central Alabama to that low end severe threat. An isolated tornado cannot be ruled out, not very likely, but again, cannot be ruled out. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive weather information, weather radio, keep your phones charged, check in for updates tonight and again tomorrow morning with Megan and Mickey. We do have some strong winds, and I do think that'll be one of the biggest things tomorrow. Wind gusts up to 25 with occasional winds reaching 40, if not 60 miles per hour. More specifically in those areas highlighted in green, heavy rain could lead us to some isolated flooding as well. A quick look at the next 24 hours here. You'll see that it will be cloudy for the next several hours. We won't see sunshine returning for us until about midweek Wednesday, but early tomorrow morning, grab the umbrella and rain jacket. Still tracking some heavier rainfall to the south, and that's going to be the story over the next several hours with that greatest severe risk again south and east. Now, after rain and a few storms for your Tuesday, we are tracking the next big thing, and that's colder air moving back in for us. We're going to see temperatures dropping below freezing again. We're talking 20s and low 30s, so bring out that heavy coat. Here's a quick look at those weather headlines. A strong storm is possible southeast Tuesday about 11 to 7 p.m. We'll be drying out Wednesday with freezing temps returning Thursday. But the Christmas cheer continues as we head over to our friends in Tuscaloosa in West Alabama for the West Alabama Christmas Parade. It is just beginning. We are joined. Okay. We are looking right now in the parade from the Storm Tracker. How cool is this? We're not seeing any faces or friends out there just yet, but we are definitely looking dry out there. This is out in West Alabama for their annual West Alabama Christmas Parade. It is a big deal for those of you from Tuscaloosa or familiar with it. For those of you familiar with it, well, you probably know how awesome this time of year is and for this annual event. It occurs on Mondays every year, and we're about in the middle of the parade, and it looks like we're coming up on some people who may be on the sides of the street here. You know how parades go. They're very slow so that everyone gets a chance to really take a look at all the cars, the cool vehicles we have out there right now. The Storm Tracker, again, JP Dice and Wes Wyatt in the Storm Tracker, and they are enjoying it, I'm sure. It's super cool. Such a great time of year. Brings on that holiday cheer. But back here in Jefferson County, it's been 1 year since brief tornadoes moved across the Birmingham metro, leaving damage across parts of Homewood, Brookwood Village, and other areas as well. Meteorologist Matt Daniel takes a look back at the event and the overall outlook on tornadoes in December.
All right, a year ago today, we were tracking a system that was going to give us a threat for rain and even some strong storms. And although the severe threat was very isolated and kind of local, it did produce some impacts here. So this actually happened the night of December 9th, going in the morning hours of December 10th of 2023. And that's when we had two brief tornadoes impact Jefferson County. And along with that, we had a lot of wind get produced from these storms in the Birmingham metro. Wind speeds up to 60 to 70 miles per hour, and we saw numerous trees go out and lots of power outages all around Jefferson County. We also reported an EF0 tornado in Barber and Henry counties, and also one EF0 tornado in Lee County. And this is just one of many images showing that tree damage across the area. So here was that two tornado tracks in Jefferson County. We had one off to our west. They got pretty close to Samford University. Winds were up to 100 miles an hour with that path length about 3.02 miles with a path width of about 600 yards. And then we had another one develop in around just to the east of the Homewood area and then moved off. It was 90-mile-per-hour winds and a path length a little less than 2 miles. But we had lots of damage in the area. This is some of the video from that event a year ago from today, and just numerous trees going down. It was just quite a mess across the area. So the one reason why we're talking about this, not only is the anniversary of that, but we have to remind you, we can get tornadoes and severe weather during this time of the year. You don't normally think of it. You think of it just being cold, wet, and dreary. But yeah, November and December, sometimes we can get those tornadoes. On average in Alabama, we'll see about 170 tornadoes, or we have seen about 170 tornadoes since 1950 and 2023. Of course, our tornadoes really surge and peak as we go into the spring months of March and into April. So let's give you some statistics when it comes to December tornadoes in Alabama. Well, the most tornadoes in December, we saw 19 back in 2012, and the worst December tornado, and I'm sure a lot of you still remember this event, was on December 16th of 2000 in Tuscaloosa. An F4 tornado killed 11 people and over about 144 people were injured from that tornado alone. And of course, when you look at those 164 tornadoes in December, and this is from 1950 to 2023. So most of the tornadoes that form in December are quote unquote weak. So like an F0 to F1, about 55 of them, 52, and very rarely we saw strong or violent ones, but we did see 15 F3s, 1 F4, and no reports of an F5. And the last time we saw a December tornado outbreak was actually on Christmas Day back in 2012. So yes, December can be pretty crazy when it comes to extremes with cold weather and unfortunately warm weather, including severe threats.
Thanks for that, Matt. Very descriptive and informative. And I just want to inform you of ways that you can protect yourself a little bit more during this season, severe weather season, and any severe weather season. Number one, make sure you have that NOAA weather radio. Keep them on hand, keep them charged. First Alert Weather app is another great tool to have. You can scan this QR code here on the screen. It's a free app to download from your Apple or your Android Play Store. And you want to make sure you have those mobile devices charged and secure those loose outdoor objects. I know this is the time of year where we have so much outside, our Christmas decorations, we have those inflatables. You might want to make sure those are secure, especially if you're in southeast central Alabama for that low-end severe threat tomorrow. Now, how about how much rainfall are we expecting? Well, looking here across central Alabama, you can see that our southern counties counties will likely see the most in the next 3 days. This is not taking into account the rain we've seen at this moment and prior Sunday and throughout the day today. But over the next 3 days, we're looking drier by Wednesday, but we could still see an additional 1.5, and maybe 2 inches. Greatest rainfall totals south and east, and that's also the area that has that isolated flood threat possibility. So we'll continue to give you updates, and I'll have a full look at that 7-day forecast coming up in a bit. But in 30 seconds, we're going to take a look at what we can expect for Tuesday's shower and talk about the best ways to combat anxiety about the changing environment. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Maybe you are missing, unfortunately, the West Alabama Parade. That's okay. There are other ways you can celebrate the holiday season this evening. You can head out to Alabama Adventure to check out the Magic of Lights. You can use our code on Tuesdays. Not sure what that code is exactly, but you can find that code by going to our WBRC app or our website as well. But if you're heading out this evening, grab the umbrella and rain jacket. You will catch plenty of breaks between any wet weather. Temperature is mild in the 60s, so you don't need that heavy coat. A great way to get festive and involved in the holiday season. But I want to talk now about a new study revealing that a lack of clouds could be the reason for temperatures warming faster than expected. Researchers with the journal Science report that the lower amounts of low-lying clouds over the ocean is supercharging those warmer conditions. Fewer bright low clouds mean the planet darkens, and absorbs more sunlight, which is a process called albedo. As the planet warms, the lighter surfaces are being replaced by darker surfaces. Scientists studied NASA satellite data, weather data, and climate models to measure cloud cover. And meteorologist Shinty Rodriguez is going to join us now with how you can combat the worries environmental changes can bring.
After the landfall of Hurricane Helene, it's expected to take years for towns like Asheville, North Carolina to rebuild. And for those of us who were not in Helene's path, it's a wake-up call. As the climate continues to warm and alter weather patterns, it's important that we all prepare for the potential and protect ourselves and our children. Alexa Lorenzo has the details.
Nobody expected a hurricane in the mountains to do this. Forecasters say Hurricane Helene dumped 40 trillion gallons of rain throughout the southeast. Coastal resilience specialist Pam Rubinoff at the University of Rhode Island says climate change will impact us all, no matter where we live.
The Earth is warming at unprecedented rates. What happens with that is that we have more moisture in the air. And when you have more moisture in the air, that's going to come out as rainfall.
These storms not only leave buildings destroyed, they can also create food insecurity, water insecurity, and can create feelings of insecurity in your children. A recent study of 10,000 kids found that 84% were worried about climate change. Almost half said it made them feel sad, anxious, angry, powerless, helpless, and guilty.
I think that what's most important is for the parents to really discuss these kinds of risks with their children.
Climate anxiety can impact a child's schoolwork, friendships, eating habits, and sleep. To help, parents should actively listen to their children's concerns, validate their fears, and encourage bravery. Create a family emergency plan together that makes them feel safe and empowered. And teach your children that climate action, not fear, can change the future.
Start to take action so that those kids are really part of the whole process.
I'm Alexa Lorenzo reporting.
It's vital for parents to model resilience when speaking with children about caring for the planet. It's okay to share your concerns, but avoid dwelling on worrying. Focus on the best ways to help your community prepare for the future.
And taking you around the world now to the Philippines, where thousands of people have been ordered to leave their homes due to a volcanic eruption. The Canlaon volcano has been spouting a column of ash and gas up to 3 kilometers into the sky. According to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, the Canlaon volcano is one of the most active in the Philippines. Now, don't go anywhere, because still ahead, we're going to talk about the drop in temperatures heading into the end of this week, and we're sharing some of your weather photos that you've submitted through our First Alert weather app. We'll be right back. You are watching First Alert Weather Extra. Welcome back in, everyone. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. I'm walking you through that Super 7-day forecast. Meteorologist Tania Michelle here. Hi. Let me get you ready for the next 24 hours, though. We will see storms possible for your Tuesday. Greatest severe threat, though, south and east. If you hear some rumbles of thunder, don't be super alarmed. Very low wind severe threat with, again, that greatest risk for our southeastern counties. But here we are Tuesday morning. Going to start off fairly dry with increasing rain chances to the south first, shifting north and east. So if you're anywhere across central Alabama, I would still grab the umbrella and rain jacket, as light steady rain is still possible for all areas. So we'll hold that 80% chance with that greatest rain chance around late Tuesday morning. Greatest rain chance also staying mainly to the south, and that severe threat to the south and east as we approach your Tuesday, really late morning into your evening. So here we are at 6:30. You can still see how there's trying to be a line of storms developing here. I do think that greatest risk will occur for Clay, Randolph, Chambers County, Tallapoosa, Coosa, Chilton County. So if you're in any of those areas, make sure your weather aware and alert. Keep those phones nice and charged and have that weather app on hand so you can get alerts of any warnings that may be issued throughout the day tomorrow. We're looking colder as we approach Wednesday with highs only in the 40s, but we'll first see that rain exiting just before that cold air starts to move in. So Wednesday won't be as warm as today or tomorrow. We'll see highs for your Tuesday nearing 70 degrees, and that's why we need to pay attention to that severe threat, just because we're going to be looking pretty warm out there, and that adds to the instability. Heading into your Thursday, going to be a cold start to the morning with temperatures down into the 20s and low 30s. Below freezing temperatures will be possible and likely for our northern counties specifically. That cold air coming in from the north early Thursday morning. Head out the door with that heavier coat. We're staying pretty chilly heading into Friday as well, but could see more temperatures right at or if not slightly below freezing. Friday morning still going to be chilly though, so hold on to that heavy coat with afternoon highs in the 50s. Here's a quick look at those Friday morning temps. Could still see some 20s to the north, mid 20s north and east, with those low 30s and right at freezing south and west. So another cold start to your day. Looking dry though. We'll have sunshine really returning for us Wednesday through your Friday, but could see more cloud coverage Saturday and Sunday. Those winds seem to shift back out of the south. That moisture builds back into our area, and we see elevated rain chances for the weekend. I do think that it could be a wet day, but as of right now, introducing that 20% chance. Temperatures mild in the 50s. Monday, upper 50s, and also looking pretty wet then as well. But a microscopic helping hand created from DNA in a lab may be able to help researchers get a hold of viruses. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Scientists have created a microscopic hand from DNA that is incredibly small but could have incredibly big implications. The research team at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign used pieces of folded DNA to craft the microscopic hand, dubbed the NanoGripper, and used it to grab COVID-19 particles. A resulting published study demonstrated that the NanoGripper was not only able to conduct a rapid test to identify the COVID-19 virus, but its gripping mechanisms even blocked the virus's spike proteins from infecting the healthy cells. With a lot more research, the team says this helping hand could have potential beyond COVID, saying the NanoGripper could potentially be used to detect and grab other viruses, including HIV, influenza, and maybe even cancer. From infinitesimally small to astronomically huge, researchers have used one of the world's fastest supercomputers to create the biggest virtual simulation of our universe ever. The Frontier supercomputer, capable of more than a quintillion calculations per second, generated the simulation, which shows on the left a sample of billions of years of our universe's expansion, and on the right the formation and movement of gravity, gases, and galaxies over time within a sample of that sample. To give you an idea of how large the full simulation is, the sample seen here represents a volume of roughly 311,000 cubic megaparsecs, equal to roughly 1 trillion light years of distance. And this sample is only 0.0001% of the volume of the actual simulation. So, yeah, really big. The team hopes the mind-blowing research could help astrophysicists and the like better understand the formation and expansion of our universe. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Very interesting right there. Well, we'll be right back with a final check of your weather, and we're going to take a look at your submitted weather photos. If you have any, submit them to the weather app. We'll be back to show yours, though, coming up. Stay tuned. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.